and the top rail, and you see how we're going to do the roof line, the top rail, and all that. So, any questions?
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Let me, before we have a chance to ask questions, is there anyone who received notice of this project by mail that would like to comment for or against the project? All right. Anyone else who thinks they're materially affected by the project? Okay. In that case, let's see. Morgan, would you again just quickly state staff's recommendations for this?
Absolutely. Staff recommends that the commission approve the application for major exterior alterations at this time, citing the following guidelines. Windows and doors, page 27, guidelines 3 and 4. Windows and doors, page 29, guideline 3. Exterior entrances and porches, page 36, guidelines 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 13. Paint and exterior color, page 44, guidelines 1 and 6. The staff has the following statements of reason. The proposed screen mesh to be installed on an existing rear-facing porch is in keeping with the historical record of the building. The proposed screen mesh porch is located in the secondary area of visual concern. And lastly, the materials and design proposed are not incongruous with the guidelines.
All right, thank you. Shannon, any final comments? All right, thank you. Commissioners, comments or questions?
Let's see. Shannon, before you get comfortable, I think there's a microphone right up by the overhead projector.
I'm sorry?
There's a microphone right by the overhead projector. If you could clarify for me, Morgan mentioned something about lattice, and I didn't see it in any of your details.
It's just a lattice to keep to trim out where you're going to staple the trim at.
Okay, but it's more.
You're going to staple
Yeah.
the screen to the.
It's more of a batten.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Shannon, could you lift up that microphone, because it is on TV?
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, sir.
Speaking of this thing.
And then my second question, can you help me understand the rationale for your preference to have the screen on the outside of the balustrade as opposed to the inside?
Well, the outside where he's got some trees in that backyard that gets really leafy. And
Yeah.
so once you get, if you put it on the outside, it doesn't get between the screen and the actual pickets.
Okay.
If you put it on the inside, it can get between the screen and the pickets, and it becomes kind of not a good looking thing. It's hard to clean too.
I'm not sure it's a critical detail, but when we put the screen behind the balustrade, it allows the architectural features to stand out much as if
Yes.
the screen weren't there. Now,
Right.
granted, you see the screen.
That was just a preference that,
Yeah.
that it doesn't matter which way.
Okay. I don't know if there are other opinions amongst the commissioners about whether that's important.
I believe we've suggested a similar
So-
approach to have it inside the pickets in the past, or inside the architectural details. There is a guideline, enclosed entrance and porches in the tertiary area, if necessary, in a manner that preserves the historic character and features of the porch. So,
Right, not to obscure it, exactly. That's a good point.
It's going to be a screen. I mean, I know it's going to impede on the view a little bit, but the screen is
Yeah.
it's not a high mesh.
And I realize by moving the screen to the opposite side, that creates a bit of a maintenance issue perhaps, but I think that'd be the more appropriate way to perform the installation based on the guidelines.
As long, I can put it on the outside on the top and inside on the bottom. Or do you want it on, because it has no pickets on the top.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking room, but, yeah.
and the screen is basically within a frame on each of those two openings.
Right, we're gonna screw like a 2x2 timber to what's there, so it can be taken off, and then we will attach the screen to that and then put the lattice strip over the top of it.
Any other questions or comments?
I'll just say we did bring up the same question at design review, and the applicant offered the same explanation, but we didn't pursue it any further. I agree with Commissioner Ewer that, you know, in concert with that guideline, it's more appropriate on the interior.
Okay. Anyone else?
Are you saying the interior for both?
I'm trying to visualize what the difference would be, you know, inside of the balustrade and then on the outside above. I think in general the application would be better if the screening were all on the same plane.
That would be my recommendation as well.
Any other questions or comments?
Could you say again, what is the door made of that you're gonna put up? That's a wooden
It's
door?
gonna be a wood door.
Does that answer your?
Yes. Mhm. Yes.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Would anyone care to make a motion? I have a motion sheet here if anyone needs it.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we find the application for a certificate of appropriateness for 616 Middle Street to be not incongruous with New Bern's Code of Ordinance, sections 15.411 to 15.429, and New Bern's Historic District guidelines based on the following specific guidelines and findings of fact. Exterior changes to historic buildings, windows and doors, page 27 guideline, and actually I'm going to change those. It's guideline 8 on page 28. We have that PDF issue of the numbering changing. Exterior entrances and porches, page 36, guidelines 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 13. Paint and exterior color, page 44, guidelines 1 and 6. And we'll add entrances and porches, page 36, number 8, referencing architectural features. Paint and exterior color, page 44, guidelines 1 and 6. Statement of reason, findings of fact, the proposed screen mesh to be installed on an existing rear-facing porch is in keeping with the historical record of the building. The proposed screen porch is located in the secondary area of visual concern. 3, the materials and design proposed are not incongruous with guidelines. And I'll add a condition that screening will be behind the balustrades.
Second?
Right. Any discussion, any comments? All right, in that case, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Call for a motion to issue a COA.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. COA is issued. Thank you, Shannon. Morgan, I believe that is it for the COA hearing tonight, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, general public comment period. Does anyone have any general comments they'd like to make? Okay, going once, going twice. Moving on. Other business. Morgan, would you like to guide us through the other business?
Absolutely. Sarah Apperbach is here with Go Architectural Design regarding River Station Marina. She is here to discuss a previous application that was submitted back in November of 2015, and she is here to address any questions and concerns that you have. Previously, she was requesting a continuance for her application.
All right. Sarah?
Good evening. We are requesting to withdraw the application at this point in time. We brought it, and I know we had a continuance, and the commission has to make an action on that. But we don't have enough information to bring back at this time. Once all that information is collected and together, probably in the next 3 to 4 months, we will be bringing the project back for a full review. So we would prefer that we withdraw the application at this time. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. Next item, election of officers. Would anyone care to, let's see. The way that we did this last year is we first had nominations for the chair and then nominations for the vice chair, voted on that, so forth. Would anyone like to make nominations for the chair? And this is open to anyone who's interested.
I nominate Tim Thompson to continue.
Does that need a second? No. Yes.
Any other nominations?
I would nominate Tripp Urick as vice chair.
Okay, let's hang on to the vice chair.
Okay.
All right. So if there are no other nominations for chair, all in favor of the nomination proposed by Commissioner Morrison, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Okay, vice chair.
I'd move Tripp Urick as vice chair.
Second.
Any other nominations? All right. All in favor of the vice chair nomination proposed by Commissioner Fry, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Looks like we are re-upped.
And do a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Carrying on with other business. Morgan.
There have been no other minor certificates of appropriateness issued yet, although I do have a few on my desk. Regarding the administrative updates and discussion of the 2016 Historic Preservation Guidelines update, I have been discussing with my superior trying to find a location. It has to be ADA compliant, keeping that in mind. We will look at a couple locations. Perhaps the Chamber of Commerce might be a good alternative. Some proposed dates, I was thinking maybe August the 4th. That will give us enough time to get a nice PowerPoint presentation together for the public, very similar to what Brad did recently.
Okay.
I believe that some of you all attended. And I will come back to you with some better suggestions.
Okay. And we've announced this at several of the meetings, several of our regular meetings. The draft of the proposed updates to the historic guidelines are available on the HPC, on the New Bern HPC website. You can download those and review those. Send any questions, any comments to Morgan in Development Services, and she'll be glad to address any comments or questions. We have talked about trying to have, since we're dealing with the Riverside Historic District as well as the Downtown Historic District, we have talked about maybe trying to have an informal workshop in Riverside and an informal workshop downtown, and if we need any other venues, as Morgan is working on those, and we'll certainly do that. Okay, does anyone have anything else? Morgan, anything else on administrative updates?
I have nothing further.
Okay. Well, if we have nothing else, then this has been a short one. Meeting adjourned.